Did you guys have a good weekend?
Yes.
Yeah? Was it relaxed?
Yes.
Enjoyable?
What, Mister?
Was it enjoyable?
Yes.
Good. Did anyone do anything fun at the house?
No, yes.
No, yes. Did anyone play outside?
Yes.
Yes.
Did
Yes.
anyone drink coffee?
Not.
Yes. I don't
I don't
like
like coffee.
I drink so much coffee.
You will do all so
I was
fast.
shaking like this. Okay,
Because you're already
I have a question for you. What is the purpose of a computer?
Or the what?
What's the
I
purpose
don't
of a
know.
computer?
Now we can see a big
To
camera.
no,
See
the
videos, the
purpose.
internet, watch videos, stuff like that. Can I use it to hammer?
Do what?
To hammer?
No. No.
Is that the purpose of it?
No.
No, right? What if why do we go to the bank? Why do we go to the bank?
To get more.
No,
Right?
you got money.
What would happen if I went to the bank and I just said, "No, I don't want any. I don't want to pull money. I just want to take a nap because there's air conditioning here." So, would they let me stay?
Oh yes.
You think
If
they'd
you
let me
want.
stay?
I don't know.
If I said I just came to the bank to take a nap,
No.
no, they wouldn't let me stay. Or if I went to, I don't know, the school. If I went to the school just to eat food, does that make sense?
No.
No. And so, why do we go to church?
To pray.
To pray, to meet with other Christians, to what else?
Worship.
To worship, yeah.
Learn more of God.
Learn more about God. Very good.
Thanks for all.
What would happen if I just said, Pastor Oscar, today let's not do that. I made some food. Let's sell my food, yeah? What do you think he would say? Do you think he'd say, okay, sounds good?
No.
No, he wouldn't say that because we go to church for a reason, right? So back in the old times, the temple was like the church. The temple was the building you go to. It was very important. And so in the Jewish religion, you had to make sacrifices for your sins. So you would have certain animals that you would bring, and the priest would make the sacrifice or offer the sacrifice to cleanse you, to a lot of the requirements that they had in the law. And so, okay, that's okay. That's not a bad thing. That's what they're supposed to do. But what happens when people become smart and see what they need to do and they say, you know what? I'll take this into my own hands. Let's make a business out of this. Okay? That's what happens. So the church or the temple was no longer about going to meet with God, going to ask for forgiveness, going to get cleansing and offering sacrifices. It was money, all about money, all right? So today we're going to learn about how Jesus does something that doesn't seem like something Jesus would do. Who believes that Jesus was a really nice guy? Who believes that Jesus was never mean, never said bad things? Raise your hand.
I.
Who believes that Jesus would never, ever hurt someone? Who believes that Jesus would never yell at someone? Raise your hand. You think he wouldn't yell at someone?
No.
No? Well, let's see. All right, we are going to learn about when Jesus goes to the temple and sees something that shouldn't be there. So we're going to look at John chapter 2, right after the wedding at Cana. We learned about that right after the wedding. And there we go. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to read this through. So I need everyone to be following along, and then we'll go from there. It says, when it was almost time for Jewish Passover, Jesus went up to Jerusalem. In the temple courts, he found people selling cattle, sheep, and doves, and others sitting at tables exchanging money. So he made a whip out of cords and drove out all the temple courts, both sheep and cattle. He scattered the coins of the money changers and overturned their tables. To those who sold doves, he said, get these out of here. Stop turning my father's house into a market. His disciples remembered that it is written, zeal for your house will consume you. Actually, we're going to do this. I'm going to change the version. I want to read a different version. Let's read this one right here. Okay, let's try this again. It was nearly time for the Jewish Passover celebration, so Jesus went to Jerusalem. In the temple area, he saw merchants selling cattle, sheep, and doves for sacrifices. He also saw dealers at tables exchanging foreign money. Jesus made a whip from some ropes and chased them all out of the temple. He drove out the sheep and cattle, scattered the money changers' coins over the floor, and turned over their tables. Then going over to the people who sold doves, he told them, get these things out of here. Stop turning my father's house into a marketplace. Then his disciples remembered his prophecy from the scriptures. Passion for God's house will consume me. But all the Jewish leaders demanded, what are you doing? If God gave you authority to do this, show us a miraculous sign to prove it. All right, Jesus replied, destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up. What? They exclaimed, it has taken 46 years to build this temple, and you can rebuild it in 3 days? But when Jesus said this temple, he meant his own body. After he was raised from the dead, his disciples remembered he had said this, and they believed both the scriptures and what Jesus had said. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna go over this a little slower. Okay, what time was it? Time for what? Carlos, Abraham, what time is it? It was nearly time for what? Can't hear you, but you need to make sure your camera's on and you're paying attention. It was nearly time for the Jewish Passover celebration. So Jesus went to where? Where did he go to? You can tell me.
To the temple.
Temple, not just the temple, but where?
Jerusalem.
Jerusalem, very good. So he goes to Jerusalem. And when he's in Jerusalem, he goes to where, Carlos Abraham? Where did he go? You said it.
To the
To
temple.
the temple.
The temple, okay. And what did he see there?
Mister, can I say it?
Yeah,
Dealers at the table exchanging
Merchants
foreign
selling
money.
cattle,
cattle.
sheep, and those for sacrifice.
Merchants selling cattle, sheep, and doves for sacrifices. You also saw dealers at tables exchanging foreign money. So they turned it into a business. So it was no longer something special. They turned it into a business.
Mister, and he also sold dealers and tablets, exchanging foreign money.
Dealers at tables exchanging foreign money. Okay, but what were the cattle, sheep, and doves used for? What were they for? Got it? What is it for?
Merchants selling cattle, sheep, and doves for sacrifice.
I will go and get a pencil.
For
Okay.
sacrifices. They're used for sacrifices. Okay?
Mister, I will go to get a pencil.
All right,
I
hurry
can
up. So he saw them selling stuff, sheep, cattle, doves. for sacrifices, okay? So yes, they had to bring sacrifices to the temple, but instead of bringing what was best, because you're supposed to bring the best, they just brought what was best. They just bought it. They didn't have to do anything. There was nothing special about it anymore. They made it a business. So it wasn't about having a relationship with God and asking God for forgiveness and all that. They turned it into a business. They turned it into a business. And so after that, keep reading. What did Jesus make?
Yes.
Let's see. I'm going to pick on someone. Let's see. Henry. What did Jesus make? He saw dealers at tables exchanging foreign money. And then what did Jesus make? Henry.
Mister, can I tell you?
I want Henry to tell me because his camera's off and I asked him to turn it on.
Jesus made a wish folks and takes them.
Mister,
What did Jesus make?
Whip from some roads and chase them all out for the temple.
Thank you very much.
he drove out the sheep and cattle.
And he had his camera off. I asked him to turn it on. Make sure you keep your cameras on. And be paying attention to the class, not messing around. He made a whip. Now we hear all these stories about Jesus being nice and he's so fun. We hold hands and we sing songs. But he made a whip from ropes and he chased people out. He was hitting people with a whip. Does that sound like a very nice thing to do?
What, mister?
Does that sound like a very nice thing to do?
Mm-mm.
No. He made a whip. He drove out the sheep and the cattle, scattered the money changers' coins over the floor, and turned over the tables. Then going to the people who sold doves, he told them, "Get these things out of here. Stop turning my father's house into a marketplace." But then his disciples remembered this prophecy from the scriptures. It says, "Passion for God's house will consume me." So that was the reason why Jesus did it, is because he was passionate about God's house. For example, does somebody have a house? Do you guys have a house? Or do you live on the streets?
Oh, I have a
You have a
house.
house. What would you
Me
do if I
too.
came to your house and I just put my feet everywhere I wanted? I brought in my shoes, they were all muddy.
Hmm.
Would you be mad at me? Would you be
I
mad?
will be mad. I will be angry.
Of course you'd be angry because it's not a good thing to do that. Because you care about your house. And so Jesus cared about the temple because it was important. It represented the relationship with God. And so of course you wouldn't let me go and do awful things to your house. And so he wasn't going to let them do these things either. He turned what was supposed to be something holy and special into a business. No longer the same. That's like saying, "Monse, do you want to be my friend?"
Yes.
Okay, but you have to pay John Carlos $5, and then we can be friends. You want to do that?
No, so better no, mister.
No, you don't be my friend? I'm going to go to the United States. Who wants to go with me? Who wants to be my friend and go with me to the United States?
Hi.
John Carlos, you want to go with me?
Yeah, but I need to give you 100, right?
No, you don't have to give me $100. You have to give Gloria $1,000.
No, better no. But I stay in Lloro.
Come on, I thought we were going to be friends. It's no longer special, right? It's no longer special. So it says, but the Jewish leaders demanded, "What are you doing? If God gave you authority to do this, show us a miraculous sign to prove it." So he said, "Show me a miraculous sign." Like what? I wonder what they needed to do, what they wanted him to do. And Jesus says, all right, destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up. I will raise it up. So, for example, that's like me saying, your house, I'll go and destroy your house, but I'll build it again in 3 days. You think I could do it? Maybe if your house was made of like
Little.
a blanket, maybe
Mm.
you could do it. But not a real house, right? So what was he
Mister,
talking about? Who
and with
remembers?
all the things in.
With everything in it? No. What was he talking about? When Jesus said, destroy this temple, let's have someone in 6th grade answer me. Let's make Cindy. Hindi Maria. Good morning, Cindy. How are you?
Fine, Mr. And you?
I'm good. Cindy, so Jesus says, destroy this temple in 3 days and I will raise it up. What temple is he talking about? Is he talking about the building that he was kicking people out of?
Mister cannot. No, Mister, look. Ha.
Read verse 21 for me, Cindy. Right here.
But
By the way,
this temple he made his
Cindy. I want Cindy to read it.
But when Jesus said, this temple,
you mean
Wait.
somebody.
Yeah, that's good.
he means his own body.
His own body. Remember when Jesus died? How long was he dead for?
3 days.
3 days. So, is that
3
what
days.
that's what he was talking about, right? When Jesus said this temple, he meant his own body. He wasn't talking about the actual building that was there. It took 46 years to build that. And then after he was raised from the dead, his disciples remembered what he had said, and they believed both the scriptures and what Jesus had said. So this was an example. This was confirmation of what Jesus was doing, okay? And so one thing I want you guys to remember from this whole lesson is that what's meant to be holy, what's meant to be special, what's meant to be important, make it that way. Keep it that way. For example, who has a friend? Raise your hand. Yes, okay, good. Everyone put your hands up like this. Let's stretch real fast. Let me get stretching. Okay, and okay. Who has a friend? Who has a best friend? Raise your hand.
Me.
What would you do if your best friend, you could only be friends with this person, is if you paid them something, or you gave them something? For example, Cindy, I want to be your friend, but you can only be my friend if you give me some money, or if you give me baleadas, or if you buy me coffee. That's the only way we can be friends. Would you like that?
No.
Or for example, Carlos, say I wanted to be your friend, but the only time we can be friends is when I want, not when you want.
Okay.
Would that be nice? No, right? We can only be friends when I want to be friends. That's not nice. For example, say me and Avril. Me and Avril are best friends. We used to hang out all the time. We collected rocks together. Happy birthday, by the way, April. On Friday, it was her birthday.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And so, if me and her were best friends, we hung out all the time, but all of a sudden I said, April, I want to be friends when I want to be friends. And so she says, Mr. Naranjo, do you want to go to... No, I don't want to do that right now. Bye. And then later on, I'm like, hey, April, do you want to go do this? And she doesn't want to, but we're friends. And she says, no, I don't really want to do that. What if we do this? Be like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to go play in a river. I don't want to go watch TV. So if you don't want to go play in a river, then I don't want to be your friend. Is that nice?
No.
No, it's not nice. But we do the same thing with God. Sometimes we only come to God when we need something.
Mister,
Yes.
I don't think my best friend can do that to me.
I don't think your best friend should do that to you. I don't think it's okay. And I don't think we should do that to God either. Because I think when it comes to our relationship with God, it needs to be something special and important. Because he knows everything. He knows how to run our lives. And so we need to give him our best attention, our best focus. We can't turn what's something that's special and make it not as special. And that's what they did. They took the temple and they turned it into a marketplace. The temple is where everyone gathered to meet with God. That's where God was at. But they turned it into a marketplace. It was no longer special. It was nothing important. It was no longer important. Because they turned the temple area and they started selling sheep and cattle and doves for sacrifices. And they needed those animals for sacrifices, but they didn't make it as important. It wasn't as special as going and offering your sacrifice. And so Jesus made a whip and started whipping people out of there. You guys know what a whip is? Let's look at a photo of a whip. Let's see if they'll show a photo of some sort of whip that he made.
That's a whip, mister.
Mister, what mean whip?
Look at that.
Oh
this
my God.
thing? Jesus made a whip and he starts hitting people with it and hitting. Look at that. Does that look like it'll feel good if it hits you? Look at this.
Oh, Mister, that was that you were telling us that he hurt.
Oh yeah, that would hurt. And so
Was telling.
Jesus makes a whip and he chases everyone out. He says everyone has to get out. And why did he do that? It's because he says passion for God's house will consume me. He's so focused in God's house. It's important to him. For example, would you defend your house if I came and tried to destroy it?
Yeah, I would defend.
Same thing.
But
He wants to make sure. Yes, Giancarlo.
Because there I live. I do all things.
It's special, right? It's your house.
How delicious be like that, right, mister?
Very. And so passion for God's house will consume me. And so, same thing. God wanted to keep what was special, special. So Jesus said, this is God's house. It's not meant to be a marketplace. So they say, destroy this temple, and in 3 days, he says, destroy this temple, and in 3 days, we'll raise it up. And he said, when this temple meant his own body. And so later on, we're going to get to the part where that happened. Okay? Where he talks about this. So this was right after his first miracle. This is right when all these things start. But he meant his own body. And we'll see about how he makes that happen, okay? Sound good?
Yes.
Here's what we're going to do right now. Here are your questions for this.
Mister, I will go and get a pencil.
Okay, go get a pencil.
Sir,
Yes.
I can see it very well.
Let's see. How about that? Is that better?
It is same. There.
I really get it.
All right, so we have our questions here. Our questions are, first one, what were they selling in the temple? We read that they were selling something. What were they selling? Our second question, what were they selling them for? What were they selling them to be used for? And then 3, Jesus gets upset and he makes something. What did Jesus make? Number 4, why did Jesus do what he did? Why did he kick everyone out? He said something. It's a prophecy. And the last one, it says, when Jesus said, destroy this temple and in 3 days I will raise it up. What temple is he talking about?